Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are going to do a gentle yoga sequence. The class is about an hour and I have a couple of blocks. If you do not have any blocks at home, you can use a book. I have a towel, a blanket here, and if you don't have a blanket like this, that's okay. You can use maybe a beach towel or something. It'd be nice just to roll underneath our knees at the end for Shavasana. Or if you're on a surface that's pretty hard underneath your knees, you can place it underneath your knees to help pad. So welcome, and let's just take a moment to just relax, to be able to be on our mat, to be out of our head for a little bit with all the craziness going on around us. It's hard, we're distanced from our work, our community, but that doesn't mean you need to be sequestered inside and sitting down and worrying and watching the news the whole time. So it's time to, just use this time to check in with yourself, to reacquaint yourself with some healthy habits, and just to be there for yourself and to be there for others. So just to begin, you can close the eyes. And you're going to begin just to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And you're going to open the mouth and you're going to release. And you're going to do that a couple more times. Nice deep inhale. And open the mouth and just release. Feel your shoulders slump down and just let it go. Release any tension out of your neck. Maybe the first time you hear moving through the shoulders and the neck, you realize, oh, I am tense. And it's nice to come to our mat and find some peace of mind. Regardless of what's going around. We can't control the things that are going around, around us, but we can control how we respond to them. So after you move through the body a little bit and you let go through deep exhales, we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose and then exhale through the nose. And just invite that long, beautiful, luscious breath and exhaling through the nose. And spending a few more rounds of breath. Begin to feel where you are, your body is in space and onto the mat. And with every breath, allow it to come a piece of gratitude and exhale gratitude. It's important if you have a meditation practice to continue, and if you don't have one, to start implementing it. It's proven to change the synapses in the brain, calms the mind. That monkey mind runs all over the place. And it is not the boss, I always say. You are the boss. And who is the boss? The person who's observing where the thoughts are going, that person or that entity, that sensation is you. So when it runs all over the place, do you really want to be thinking the thoughts that are going? Are they stuck in the past? Are they running ahead to the future, which right now times are, they probably are. It's uncertain, it's unclear, it's anxious times, I know. Bring your attention back to the here and now. Being centered and in this place allows your body to heal. Your body is a miracle. It fights off a lot of things, but we compromise our body from doing its job by being stressed, and being stressed even just sitting there thinking rampant thoughts that aren't serving you right now. So during this time in your practice, just being mellow and breathing or gentle stretching, your body is going to be able to heal, or it's going to do its healing. So just begin to bring that smooth breath with you, and we're going to take it onto our back. So as you slowly make it on your way onto the back. You can roll down, hands can come onto the knees. Engage abdominals a little bit, lowering down. And then draw the knees into the chest as you hug in and rock side to side. And just beginning to wake up through the muscles, through the legs. You can keep a flex into the feet. And then gently you can circle around. You can have one hand onto the knee or one hand onto the thighs. As you circle around, you're going to flatten your back and then feel a little arch into the lower back. Engage the belly to protect the lower back. Simple little movements. It doesn't always have to be this huge gesture. Any movement is beneficial. And then gently circle around the opposite direction. And then come back up through center. Allow the legs to reach up to the sky. Hands can come back behind the hamstrings. And if your legs aren't straightening, then keep a bend into the knees. And maybe gently just add a little bit more to that stretch. Press out through the heels. Point through the toes. And do that a few more times. You're definitely going to feel on the top of your shins. And again, bend the knees as you need. And roll through the ankles. Switch direction. Right, hear some popping and cracking and snapping. That's good. Let it go. Good. And then wiggle your toes. And then draw the knees back into the chest. Hug in. Feet to the floor, knees bent. Arms are going to be alongside the body and allow the shoulders to roll back. So when we were circling around, we felt that lower back arc come up a little bit, like into a little bit of an arch. So when that happens, your frontal hip bones are reaching toward the top of your thighs. And then flattening the back, the frontal hip bones are going to come up toward your belly. And then these are pelvic tilts. And we're just going to pelvic tilt, creating that little arch, and then flattening the back out. And then just do that a few times. Nice release onto the lower back, creating a little bit of heat in the belly. And if your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the breath. And if you want, you can play a little bit of some nice mellow music. If you're not sure where, and if you happen to have Spotify, which I have a lot of playlists on there, I'll have a gentle yoga playlist. Just some quiet is also good. Do one more time. And then let's meet with our back flat onto the mat. Arms are going to come alongside the body, shoulders back and down. Press through the feet, slowly press through the feet, lift the hips. Aim your tailbone to behind the knees, shoulders back. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to lower down out of your bridge pose. And so we're just connecting our breath with the movement. So you're going to inhale, lift back through bridge. And then exhale, lower down. And sometimes it's nice if you have a block or even the book that you're using, it's nice to place it in between inside the knees. And then you pressing into the block allows you to feel what muscles you're using to lift. And it keeps your legs straight, hip socket distance apart. And there's just an option. It allows you to get a little bit deeper with the breath. Just as you squeeze through the block. And then it ignites the proper muscles, so you're lifting from the hips. Get a couple more times, and you can feel maybe after the first time you did it, it feels a little tight. And then as you start breathing into it, it begins to open up a little bit more through the legs, through the chest, and just through the whole body. Give it one more time. Up. And then down wherever you are. If you have that blocker book, just remove it from the knees and draw the knees into the chest again. Hug in. Always get to reset. You're going to hug your right leg in, send the left leg long along the mat. And then inhale, switch sides. You're going to pull the left leg in and then send that right leg out. And then alternate that a few times. You're going to exhale, send it out. Just match with your breath. Any movement nice and slow. Keep your belly engaged so it protects the lower back. And flex through the heel. You can point through the toes. Just that gentle hug in, and even hug in, squeeze in that thigh, maybe just a little bit more. Feeling the hip flexors, the length. And maybe if you're pointing through the toes, really pulling through the toes, like you're really trying to reach something with your toes. And when you're flexing through the feet, really reach through the heels, as if you're pushing something heavy away. Let's do one more time each side, sending each leg out. But of course, know if it feels good, you can continue. And if it doesn't feel good, stop anytime. And then knees back into the chest, hug, and keep the back flat. Move the thighs away from the chest a little bit so your shins are parallel to the mat. Arms are going to reach up, shoulders back and down, palms are facing one another. And ignite through the belly to help protect the lower back. Inhale, right arm's going to come up overhead as you extend the left leg out. Let it hover. And then exhale, arm and knee come back up. Inhale, left arm overhead as you send the right leg out. And then exhale, back up center. So continue doing that. Inhale, extending the limbs. Exhale, coming back center. If this feels too much on your lower back, you know, get ahead and let the toes come down to the ground and then lift the legs. But just move slow and with purpose, not a gripping and a have to. Just move through the body, shoulders back, face soft. Feel some heat happening through your torso. One more time, each side. Lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, that work comes in, belly engaged. And then coming back up through center, hug knees into chest, rock side to side. And then move the thighs away from the chest again. Arms can come down to the sides of the body, like I always liken it to some guards when you're bowling, the guards that can come up. And on an exhale, you're gonna let the legs come partially over to the right side. And when you're doing that, you're flexing out through the heels and you're using your left obliques, waist muscles. And then inhale, come back up center. And make sure you're not gripping through the shoulders, rolling back, keep checking in, you're not gripping through the jaw. On an exhale, come over to the left side. Or an inhale, or exhale, and then inhale, come back up center. So exhale, come over to the other side. And again, don't get caught up in the breath. Just breathe through movement. Make sure you're not holding and gripping your breath. So just coming side to side, a little lateral work. And you're in charge. And you can rest onto the arm, your hand on next to you, next to that hip. Again, check in with the shoulders and your face. And again, here, if this is too much on the back, let the feet come down to the floor. And you can let the knees come side to side. You're still going to feel it. And pull them back up. And if it's too easy and you want just a little bit more, take the arms off the mat. And then you can maybe the legs come a little bit more off to the floor. So you got a little bit more work pulling back up center. And Remember, it's all about choices. And you decide to try it and it's not working, and then come back. That's what being mindful is all about. We know where we are, what steps to make next. If it doesn't work, then make another step in a different direction. Good, draw the knees into the chest, tag in. Allow the knees to open up wide to your armpits. Keep the back flat onto the mat. And then coming into a happy baby pose, you're slowly going to let the feet reach up to the sky. And we're still just warming up. Hands can come back behind the hamstring. And then keep the bum flat on the ground. Maybe if you want to reach up to the toes, you have some space. Your index finger and middle finger can come in between your big toe and your second toe. And you're going to grab the bottom of your toe, and then your thumb can come on top of the big toenail. And then just a little bit more. I'm kind of using this as feedback. So we're going to warm up we're going to get into some hips. And then we'll do this later on, and then you have to see how much space you created. There's always space. Don't limit yourself mentally, physically, energetically. And one more breath cycle. Good, and then just release, and these can come into chest. Hands can come behind the hamstrings and use your abdominals. You can rock forward and up a few times. And then gently, when you feel ready, lift all the way up. And if that's not happening, you could always come over to your knees and then lift yourself up with using your arms. But we are going to come into a tabletop. So however you want to get there. Wrists beneath the shoulders, starfish your hands, you have plenty of space versus having it closed, like nice and open, and then like a little bit of an arch into your palm of your hand. Think about the arch of your foot to help support. So on both, so they're down, but not completely just sinking down. You get a little bit of buoyancy pressing through the mat using your fingertips as if maybe you were like scooping up some sand or some mud. And your legs are hip socket distance apart, so there's some space in between the knees. And then we're going to come into a cow pose, and you're going to roll the shoulders back, heart opens, tailbone comes up to the sky. So when we were doing those little pelvic tilts, you got a nice little arch into the lower back, but you're not dumping, too much. You're not dumping you're in a compromised situation here. And then you're going to exhale, pull the belly in around the back, come into cat. And then come through that a few times. And it just feels good to move through the spine. And if your wrists are really hurting you and your fingers are feeling tight, the weather, whatever's going on, arthritis, you can maybe make a fist and place your fists beneath you. And also another thing that might help is maybe you want to turn your hands over a little bit, your fingertips. So instead of having the fingertips point to the top of the mat, you can have them turned over to the side a little bit. If you want to try that. Get a couple more times. And even if it feels good to hang out a couple of breaths into a cow or the cat, allow that to happen. This is your exploration time. I'm here just helping guide you. Your body's going to lead you where it needs to go today. And every time you come to the mat, it's going to be a little bit different. And then gently come back through center. And we're going to come into a child's pose. I like to take it nice and wide. So the toes come together, and then open your knees nice and wide, and then sink your hips back. And if that's really tight on your knees, an option is to grab that towel or a little blanket, and you can place it behind on your calves. And then it just gives you a little bit more lift, so you're not putting too much pressure onto the knees. So it can look something like that. Or if you didn't grab that and you have the book or the block, you can bring a block back. Just to kind of lift up through the hips, so you're not forced to go all the way back down. And then just find some space here. Maybe rock side to side. Let your heart reach down toward the floor, but you have an extension going on here too, through the arms, the back, the lower back. And really observe how that breath is going through your body, that inhale. It expands in that upper back. And the exhale, just a little letting go, a little cleansing on that exhale. Just take a couple more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, let's walk your arms over to the right a little bit. So your right hand may come off the mat, maybe onto the floor, but press down through the left hand a little bit more. So you get a little bit more of that lateral stretch down the left side of the body. If you want more stretch down that left side, left hand can be placed on top of the right. And it's not a have to, it's just a suggestion. And then gently come back through child's pose, check in. And then walk the arms over to the left side, keeping them shoulder distance. Your chest is still reaching down to the floor. Your right armpit is reaching down toward the floor. Stretching down the right side of the body. And then gently walk the arms back center. And then glide the body back into a tabletop, sliding the hands back underneath the shoulders and the knees below the hips. So finding that neutral spine versus, the extreme, the cat-cow. So the neutral, frontal hip bones come up to the belly and your tailbone back by the heels. Slight bend in the elbows so we're not locking. Inhale, let the right arm reach forward. Same thing we were doing on our back. And then extend the left leg out. So right arm reaches, left leg reaches back. On an exhale, knee and elbow are going to come together around your back like cat. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, a few rounds. Let's create a little heat through the belly, through the body. Pump some energy through the system, through the body. Good, one more time. And then meet with the arm and the leg extended. Hand and knee come down. Extend the left arm out and check out, not locking through the elbow. I have a tendency to do that as well. So just play around, slight little bend, not locking. Left arm reaches out, right leg reaches out. And adjust as you need to. And then exhale, knee and elbow come together. Inhale, lengthen, pausing at the top of that inhale. And then exhale, pull the belly in and pause at the bottom of that exhale. Take control. 2 more. And then meet with the arm and leg extended. Hand and knee down. Come into a child's pose, toes together, knees open up wide. It doesn't have to be as extended. You can allow the arms to rest and the shoulders to rest. Take a breath cycle. Pump through the hands if you're, roll through the wrists if they're bothering you. And it's just nice to do. Warm up. And just keep them fluid. And inhale, slide back through tabletop. We're going to step our right foot forward to the top of the mat. Here you can be onto your fingertips, or if you have those blocks or 2 books, you can place them on either side of the right foot to give you a little bit more length here. So whatever feel good, fingertips, fists, or those blocks to lift up. You can see how it lifts up through your chest just a little bit more. You're going to slide the hands back, straighten the right leg, heel stays to the floor, toes reach up to the sky. And you're sliding back nice and slow so the hips are level. Your chest is reaching toward the top of your foot. So think about your standing nice posture. Shoulders back, chest forward. And yes, we're getting into our hamstrings here. Make sure we're not locking that right knee. And then rooting down through the left foot back behind you. And I like to add some movement here sometimes. So we're going to slide forward and back, putting a bend back into the knee. Keep the belly engaged. And then you're going to come back. And you can do that a couple more times. And even if it feels good, if you want to sink the hips down just a little bit more, get into the left hip flexor. Your time on the mat. What is singing true? What is feeling right? Good, couple more times. If you're using the blocks, bring the blocks with you. Okay, one more, reaching back, and then let's come back to that kneeling lunge. Fingertips are going to come underneath the shoulder or fists or your palms or onto the block, whatever you have. Pull the belly and shoulders back, curl the back toes, lift the back knee, reach out through that back heel. So this is runner's lunge. Keep drawing that right knee in toward the left arm a little bit and lengthen through the spine, belly's engaged. And then come down to the left knee. Plant your left hand onto the floor or onto the block. Right hand can come onto the thigh. And then you're going to open, rotate your torso toward the right. So keep the belly engaged, rotating back from the hips up to the shoulders. Start rolling the right shoulder back, lengthening out of the lower back. And make sure that left arm has a slight little bend in the elbow. And maybe if it feels good, you can let the right arm reach up. And you're just aiming your chest up to the sky at the same time as you're lengthening out of the lower part of the back. And you can stay here with the left knee down or curl the back toes and lift the back knee. And you'll know right away if it's not right. Good, big breaths through the body. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Come down to the left knee if you have it lifted. Slide the right knee back. Inhale, come through a cow pose. Belly toward the earth, heart open, big scoop in that lower back. And then exhale, round the back, coming into cat pose. And then come back through center. Step the left foot forward, top of the mat. Fingertips come forward, slowly, gently sinking the hips down. Shoulders back, chest forward. And then you're still rooting down through that right foot back behind you, aiming the toes back. And then sliding the hands back, straighten the left leg. And keep that posture through the torso, the hips to the shoulders. Good, reach that chest towards the thigh. I meant towards the top of your foot. Kind of towards the thigh though too. And then we'll slide through here. Just inhale, maybe come back to that kneeling lunge. And then exhale, sink back. Take your time. You created a long, smooth breath, so it should be slow. Inhale. And pausing on that inhale, top of the inhale, and then exhale, come back through the kneeling. Pause on the bottom. And then just do that a few more times. And connect. Be thankful for the movement, that you're able to be on the mat, moving right now. Be into the space. And let's come back through the kneeling. Plant the right hand. Open your torso to the left. And then, see how it feels on the right. Roll the left shoulder back. Maybe the left arm lifts up. Keep drawing your left knee in toward the right arm so we keep foundation. Your ankle and knee in alignment now through that hip. And then as you're rotating here, if you want to curl the back toes and lift the back knee on that right leg. And you can move around through the neck. And exhale, let the left hand come down. Let the right knee come back down. If it's lifted, slide the left knee back, come back through tabletop. Inhale your cow pose, belly toward the earth, hips up to the sky. And then exhale on the back cat. And then come back through center. Inhale, right arm's gonna reach out, left leg's gonna reach out again. You're gonna put a bend into the left knee and you're gonna reach around with the right hand. And if you're not reaching, just keep, if you're not holding on, that's okay. Keep reaching back with the right. And if maybe you can hold on to the heel, or if you can reach to the top of the left foot and press into it. And then you're just getting a nice stretch through that left thigh. Keep the belly engaged so you're not dumping into the lower back. And if you want to add a little rotation here, just a little bit more, you can roll that right shoulder back. If you're not holding on to the left leg, just keep the toes pointed up to the sky. Good, inhale, release the arm and the leg. Hand and knee come down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. And then come back through center. Extend the left arm, right leg. And then put a bend into that right leg. And point through the toes. Left arm's going to come around. Maybe hold onto the heel, even if you have your pant leg. Or if you happen to, top of the foot, I was going to say strap, but I didn't guide that earlier. So open up through the chest. Maybe that left shoulder rolls back. Press the thigh, the foot into the hand. Get that right thigh. Check in with that right elbow, slight little bend. Extend the arm and the leg out. Hand and knee down. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And come back through center. Step the right foot forward again for kneeling lunge. Move your right arm onto the inside of the right leg. And you're going to heel toe your right foot over to about the edge of your mat. Move your right hand back to where the right foot was. And then shoulders back, chest open. So again, that really nice posture. Keep pressing through the sole of your right foot. So that foot's down onto the floor. Keep drawing your right knee in toward the right arm. And then we can add on, you can come down to your forearms if you have the space. And again, if you have the blocks or the books, rest your forearms onto the block. Make sure you're not dumping through the lower back. Reach out through the left toes. Keep pressing down through that right foot, drawing the right knee in toward the arm. Good, nice long breaths. Signal to your body that you're okay. And then also listen to your body. Maybe your body's trying to tell you you need to come out or to modify somehow. You can curl the back toes if you want and lift the back knee. But again, you're checking in. Come down to that left knee. We're going to add on, this is an option, you don't have to either. You're going to roll to the outer edge of the right foot. So you're staying connected to the floor. You're just like you're peeking underneath to see if you stepped on some gum under your right foot. And so the knee opens out a little bit. Keep the muscles engaged in the inner thigh and the outer hips. And then staying here, or if you want to go ahead and curl that back toe, lift the back knee again. Breathe into the outer right hip. One more breath cycle. And if you're on the outer edge of that right foot, let the sole of the foot come back onto the floor. Lift the torso, heel toe your foot back so it's your arms or your hands are on either side of that left foot. Lengthen forward. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee, reach out through the back leg. And then come down back to that knee, step the right foot back. So you have an option, you come back through the cow and the cat, or you can come into a child's pose and the hips back. Or maybe both. And then let's meet back through tabletop. Step the left foot forward, top of the mat. And again, find that space, the left knee over the ankle, checking in with your right hip flexor. And then move the left arm onto the inside of the left. Heel toe it over to the left. Move your left hand back to where the foot was. And then maybe sinking down a little bit more through the hips. Hug your left knee into that left arm. Check in with the elbows. And staying here or letting the forearms come down into the ground, or grab your blocks. Block, forearm onto the block. Okay, keep the sole of the left foot onto the ground. Keep pressing down through the foot, lengthen through the spine. Option, curling the back toe, lifting the back knee. Good long breaths. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. And you start heating up because you're really activating the muscles. So if you're feeling really hot, exhale through your mouth. Just make sure to inhale through the nose. If you have your right knee lifted, let it come down. You're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot, letting that left knee open up to the left side a little bit. So into that outer hip, you're going to feel it. And we're still pretty active through our right leg, engaging the thigh, reaching out through the toes. If you wanted to curl the back toes again and lift the back knee here with that left knee out to the side a little bit. And then gently coming down to the right knee. Left foot comes to the floor. Lift up through the torso. Heel toe your foot back. And come back through that runner's lunge. Or the kneeling lunge, and then come into a runner's lunge. Lift through that back knee. And then allow that right knee to come down. And we're going to switch it up here. You always have the option, cat-cow, to come into a child's pose. But we haven't come into a downward facing dog yet. So if that's in your practice, maybe let the arms reach forward. And then the shoulders will come forward, turn, curl the toes, lift the knees, lift your hips up and back. You can pedal through your legs into your hips. Or if you're still in your fear and chose the child's pose, just maybe your hips can come side to side. Find a little bit of movement. And then gently, wherever you are, let's meet back through tabletop. And then we're going to swing the legs around, extend the legs out in front of you. I'm going to switch so I'm facing you. And fix my clothes. Okay, so reach out through the legs. Nice and tall. Root down through the sit bones. You need a slight little bend into the knees, then let that happen. Inhale, let the arms reach up. And on an exhale, you're going to fold forward over the thighs. Let your hands come somewhere. Let them come down to the ground. Maybe they're on your legs. Let this feel like a release out of your lower back and a nice hamstring stretch. You have the block, you have the towel or blanket maybe you can place underneath your knees. Play around by bending the knees a lot and folding forward, and then maybe finding a little bit more space. Get 3 more breaths here. Shake your head no. You're not stuck and you're not forcing yourself. And yes, you're in your happy place. And then coming out of the pose, you're going to press down through the heels, you're going to engage the belly, hands can slide along the top of the legs as you inhale and lift up. Then roll shoulders back, check in with any tension. You get to find out where you hold your tension on the mat, if you don't know already. Let the the legs open up nice and wide, so we have some space. You're going to put a bend into your right knee and take the sole of the right foot and place it into your left inner thigh. Block or book or towel or blanket if you need it underneath your right knee. If you have a big bend into that knee and if it doesn't reach the earth, that's okay. You bring the earth up to you to help support that leg. Keep rooting down through your left heel, toes up to the sky. Again, lift up through the arms. On an exhale, you're going to rotate towards your left leg, and then you're going to fold over the left leg. Hands on either side, onto the leg. Maybe the sole of the foot. If you needed more space, book or block at the sole of the foot, kind of reach into. But that doesn't have to happen right away. Take a breath cycle. And then on every exhale, maybe sink a little bit more. Stay connected, keep rooting down through your sit bones, your right sit bone and your left sit bone down onto the ground. And if it's not looking like this, that is okay. Then maybe it looks like this. You're still getting a stretch. Here we're going to hold it just a few more breath cycles. And then coming out of the pose, being mindful before you rubber band out of the pose. Press down through that left heel, engage the belly, slide the hands moving along that left thigh. Good. You're going to bring your right hand back behind you, so it's a slight little angle. And we're going to lift our hips. Keep pressing the foot in. The knee's going to be down onto the ground. If you have that block, remove the block. Maybe if you want a towel, grab that towel or the blanket underneath your knee. Keep the left heel onto the ground. Inhale, lift up through your hips, reach up through that left arm. Hips come forward, shoulders can roll back. And then exhale, hips come down, arms come down, just a little modified wild thing. Extend the right leg out. You can shake both the legs out. Put a bend into your left leg, left sole of the foot into the inner thigh. You need a block underneath that left knee. Right heel onto the floor, toes up to the sky. Actually, I like a block underneath the side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, rotate towards your right leg, and then you're going to fold over it. Make sure you're checking with the back, the belly, and then maybe this is it. It's all right, I'm still feeling something. And then with every exhale, you just kind of give way. Maybe your mind stopped you. Body says, I want more. You can go deeper. Listen. It's nice to close the eyes, to connect a little deeper. And feel your shoulders roll back, the chest is reaching forward. Good, 2 more breath cycles, and they should be long. Taking your time coming out of the pose, rooting down, lifting up. Hands can slide. If you have a block underneath the left knee, just move it aside. Your left hand comes out at an angle. And being mindful when we lift that the left shoulder be over the left wrist. If you need, you can come down to your forearm. If that's feeling too much on the wrist. So right heel down onto the floor. Keep pressing the left foot in. And then you're going to lift your hips. Lift the right arm. Open your heart up to the sky. And if you need a blanket underneath that left knee, good, exhale, let the hips come down. And then release the left leg out. Both the legs can come together. And just shake it out. So I'm gonna come back to the side angle here. You're gonna put a bend into your right knee. So you're gonna hug the right leg in. And I'm gonna guide you through a couple of different versions. You're gonna bring your right hand back behind you, lengthen through the spine. Fingertips can be behind you. You can use the block or the blanket. Left arm is gonna hug around that right leg. So first you're facing towards the top of your feet. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, open up your torso slow to the right side. And you keep hugging that leg in. Maybe eventually your gaze can come over the right shoulder. Be active through the left leg, meaning the toes are reaching up to the sky. It's not just limping, because then all of a sudden try that. Your torso goes down, but you kind of bring a little bit more attention back to the body, a little bit more dynamic energy. So see how that feels. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, I want you to rotate back center. We're going to keep the right knee bent. You have an option to bring the right foot onto the outside of the right leg, of the left leg. And then again, right fingertips back behind. And you can hug, rotate a little bit more through the hip. Good, long spine, belly pulls in. Hug that right leg in. Press your right foot down onto the floor. Again, that dynamic energy. And your left toes up to the sky. Good, and then rotate the torso back center. Another option, left arm can reach up. Right hand still comes back behind you. Pull the belly in. Exhale, rotate to the right again. So third option, deepest option, you have 2 other options to go back to if this is not feeling good. And like I said, day to day we change, moment to moment. What does your body need now? Gently coming out of the pose, use your inhale, the side, rotate back, guide the right leg out, and shake it out. So we'll switch sides, and we'll go through all 3, so you can check in, both sides are different as well. So extending the right leg, put a bend into the left knee, hug in, so your spine's nice and tall, so we want to rotate on that tall spine. Left fingertips back behind, fist, hand, whatever feels good. Okay, so face your right toes, inhale, lengthen through the spine, hug your left leg, And then rotate to the left, slow. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, rotate. And then while you're in that rotation, still inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, maybe there's more space. Close the eyes. Maybe your head turns over that left shoulder. Get a nice stretch down the right side of your neck. Again, a favorite place for the body to hold some energy and tension. And then gently rotate the torso back center. So switching it up here, put the bend into the left, or keep that knee bent. Keep that left knee bent. Bring the left foot over to the right side onto the thigh and push into it. So there's some energy going on. Left fingertips stay back. Hug the leg again, lengthen, your chest faces the top of your foot, and then open up to the left again. So here you're gonna feel a little bit more sensation down the left hip. Keep pressing down through the left foot. And you can never get enough twisting in my book. Feels so good. Except of course when your back is feeling tight, and even then just so you just go to the mild and keep the belly engaged to protect the back. 2 more breath cycles. And then rotate back center, just get a little break and decide where you want to go. If you want to add on, right arm can reach up, and then exhale, rotate to the left. So again, this is the most sensation in this twist. You can always back up, even if you like that. You can bring the left foot onto the inside and have the arm press in, and then keep your hand pretty active. The palms open, fingers wide. This is Abheya Mudra, means no fear. Two more breath cycles. And then inhale, rotate back center. Keep the belly engaged, slowly rotating back. Extend the left leg out. Shake it out. And then we're gonna roll it all the way down to the mat. So if you can come onto the floor and pull the belly in, hands can be off your thighs or on your thighs. Gently just kind of curl your spine, roll all the way down, knees come in the chest, hug in. Left foot comes to the floor, knee bent. You're gonna take right above the right ankle, cross it over the left thigh. So you're creating a number 4. In here, we have options 2. You're gonna take your right hand, press it into the inner thigh and press away. Or reach through your right hand through that space in between the left leg and the right inner thigh. Reach it through, lift the left foot off the floor, interlace your fingers behind the left hamstring. And then pull in. Keep both the feet flexed. But if you want to keep the left knee bent, you can, or maybe straighten the leg, get back into a little bit of a hamstring. But shoulders are back, your hips are level. Wherever feels a good stretch. And another option too, you can take a block or that book underneath the left foot. Just that little bit of lift gives a little bit more, push into the right leg. Release the left hamstring, so let the left foot come to the floor, right foot comes to the floor. Switching sides, take right above the left ankle over the right thigh. You're going to press into the left inner thigh. A block maybe underneath the right foot. Or reach through and around to behind the right hamstring. So what's going to happen is that left knee is going to want to come up because it doesn't want to feel that stretch. So really square your hips. Shoulders back, belly engaged. Let your face relax, let your jaw relax, shoulders. Breathe into that left hip. Exhaling any tension out. Gently release. Drop both knees into the chest. Hug in. And revisiting that happy baby, allow the knees to open up wide. Let the feet reach up to the sky. And again, maybe hands come back behind the hamstrings, or feet up. Yogi grip, index finger, middle finger in between the big toe, second toe. And then the thumb onto the big toenail. And you're going to open up a little bit wide. And then we did this at first for that feedback. So how's that feeling? A little bit more space into the hips. Imprint your spine onto the mat. Keep lengthening the tailbone away from the crown of your head. And then here you can rock side to side, or maybe straighten one leg, or both. Play around. And then release. Knees can come into chest hug in. Feet to the floor, knees bent, arms alongside the body, shoulders back and down. We went through the bridge flow, but we're going to come into a bridge and hold it for a few breaths. So press down through the feet, lift up through the hips, aim your tailbone to behind the knees. So as you lift up, there's no sagging into the lower back. Arms can be down, pressing down through the palms on the ground, forearms. If you want to deepen it, you can shoulder blades come in close to one another. You can interlace the fingers, reach the clasp hands toward the heels. And again, you have that block option if you want to come out of it and then place the block in between the knees. But just feel that expansiveness happening in that inhale. And that exhale, still a grounding, but feeling lifted. And then gently, you're going to release the fingers, move the shoulder blades out of the way, lower down carefully. Knees come back into chest hug in. And then feet to the floor. Heel toe your feet so they're about the width of your mat. And then you're just going to let the legs drift over to the left. And then let them come back up center. Let them come over to the right. And then just do that a few more times. Kind of releasing through the lower back and your pelvis. Okay, one more time each side, or more if you want it. But we're going to come all the way over to the left side. Gently let the legs come down. If you need, you have your block or a book, you can place it underneath the right knee. If you want more of a sensation, because you're feeling this down the right side of the body, you can take the left heel, place it on top of the right thigh, and then gently let that leg come down. Right arm maybe can lift up overhead and you get more space to breathe down through the right side of the body. Again, or your goalpost arms, up to you, or hands onto the body. And we're going to spend a few breaths here. Travel down through the body with the breath. And deeper the breath, deeper the stretch, deeper, longer the exhale, the more you're releasing. Okay, gently coming out of the pose, let that left foot come down to the floor, let the legs come back up through center. Stay where you are. I'm just going to roll around the opposite way. So you can windshield wiper a couple times each side. And then eventually allow them to come all the way over to the right side. So slowly letting them come down. Now you're breathing down through the left side of the body, the top of that hip flexor and the top of your hip, your pelvis. If you want more sensation, the right heel comes on top of the left thigh. And gently come down. Again, check in with the left knee. If you need a block underneath to support, feels good. Because you want to focus on stretching down the left side of the body, and it's not about tweaking the left knee. Left arm can come up overhead. Be creative. That feels good right here. Two more breath cycles. Gently coming out of the pose with the right foot come to the floor. Move that block if you need. Windshield wiper each side a few times. And then scan through your body. If there's a stretch your body's craving, maybe another knee hug in. Let your shoulder blades come up off the mat. Squeeze yourself. Gotta take time loving ourselves. If we can't love ourselves, how can we love anybody else? So release. And if there's not any other stretch your body's craving, then you have arrived to your Shavasana. A pose where you get to completely let go. If you have the blocks or the books, an option, you can place a block underneath each knee. If you have the towel or a blanket, you can place that underneath the knees instead. If you have something that you place over your eyes, a shirt, or the blanket over just the eyes. But find a position you can be completely comfortable. Allow the legs to be long if they are. I am going to administer Reiki to you. So it doesn't matter if right now, you're watching this, wherever and whenever you're watching it, it will still be transferred to you. So it's just an energy healing. It can be distant healing. It's like sending a prayer to somebody. So allow yourself just to relax. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and just release. Give yourself permission to let go, to be nowhere, to be doing nothing. Just relax. slowly begin to bring the attention back to your body. Begin to deepen the breath. Begin to wiggle through your fingers and your toes. If you're ready for a bigger stretch, circle sweep the arms up overhead and stretching from wall to wall, inhaling the front of the body out through the toes, and then exhale, let that go. Now whenever you're ready, put a bend into your knees and guide your body to fetal position on the right or left side. Take a moment to really cradle that side of the head with your arm. Draw the knees up into the chest. Set your intention for the rest of the day. Love and peace of mind do protect us. They allow us to overcome the problems that life hands us. They teach us to survive, to live now, to have courage, to confront each day. Bernie Siegel. Whenever you're ready, slowly, carefully bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Take your time. And once you're seated, eyes closed, and as you root down through the sit bones, take a nice deep inhale and you circle sweep arms out and up above the head. Palms come together. Exhale, thumbs down to the heart center. Bow down to the heart center. Take a moment to thank and honor yourself where you are on this path and journey. Sometimes we find ourselves on that path and it's not always pretty and it's not always easy. To find the love, to find the courage. And the light in me honors the light in you. And in good health, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I'm able to provide you with a little bit of peace of mind, and a little movement through the body to release any stored energy that we accumulate. Have a beautiful day.